live on Fox 45. This is Dayton 24/7 Now News.
First tonight, flu season. Doctors say things are slow right now, but they are seeing a lot of things that look like the flu, but they assume it's COVID until proven otherwise. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Merrill.
And I'm Megan O'Rourke. Now, according to the CDC, flu activity is low at this time, but doctors say that could change. Dayton 24/7 Now's Mamie Ba spoke with health officials about when that could be. Mamie.
Well, doctors say around the holiday season when people get together, they recommend people get their COVID and flu vaccine right away. This flu season, just like the last, doctors say it's COVID until proven otherwise.
Fall allergies, some other viral stuff, everything right now that if you have a cough, fever, congestion, we think is COVID.
Last year, cases of the flu were low due to all the COVID precautions. But this year, things could be different with more people dropping the mask.
And how can people tell the difference between COVID and the flu?
The easiest way is testing, and we have good tests for both. There's not a real good way otherwise because the symptoms are so nondescript with COVID.
According to the Ohio Department of Health, in the week ending October 9th, there were only 6 influenza-associated hospitalizations in the state. Doctors say cases of the flu are low, but
we do expect it to hit. Usually, around Thanksgiving when folks get together and Christmas again when they get together, we see a little uptick in it around that time.
The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says people can get their flu and COVID vaccine at the same time.
And we have shown that getting them at the same time really has no ill effects. So I think if you're out there, save yourself a trip, get them both.
And should people get them in different arms?
So the recommendation is that, get them in separate arms if you can. We have had some patients that have had them in both arms for or had both shots in one arm for various reasons, and no ill effects on those patients. And so it looks effective either way, but split them up.
The flu vaccine is recommended for everyone 6 months and older. Doctors say anyone should get the flu shot and should get it right away. Reporting live in Dayton, Mamie Ba, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Mamie, thank you. And the state of Ohio has now surpassed 1.5 million COVID-19 cases since the start of the pandemic. Today, the Ohio Department of Health reporting just over 3,600 new cases, 348 additional hospitalizations, and 289 more deaths.
Several local law enforcement leaders taking part in the annual Ohio Law Enforcement Conference today. Now, according to the Attorney General's office, the goal of today's conference was to discuss dangers police officers face, especially following the death of George Floyd. The West Carrollton police chief says the political climate has made it more difficult for them to recruit minorities to the department. Sydney Police Chief William Balling talked at length about the importance of mental health resources.
Suicide doesn't happen overnight. It builds upon it. So we need officers to be aware of what happens, their families to be aware of what happens, supervisors, first line supervisors to be aware of it, and obviously the chiefs and sheriff smashing that stigma that it's okay not to be okay.
Now, distinguished law enforcement awards were also announced during the conference. Miami Township Detective Todd Comer was named winner of the Marcolosi Service Award for his work as an investigator for intense homicide, child abuse, and sex assault cases.
A bone believed to be human has been found in that SUV that was pulled out of the Ohio River that belonged to a missing Delhi Township woman. Now, that bone is being sent to a lab for testing. The SUV was pulled from the river last week and was confirmed to have belonged to Stephanie Nguyen, who disappeared in 2002 with her 2 kids. Nguyen left a suicide note saying that her marriage had failed and she planned to kill herself and her 2 children by driving into the river. Testing on that bone could help disprove the theory that Nguyen faked her death and disappeared with her kids.
Detective George Del Rio is now part of the DEA's Wall of Honor. Del Rio was killed in the line of duty in 2019 while serving a federal narcotics warrant in Dayton. He was shot twice by the suspects and eventually died from his injuries. Del Rio, a 30-year veteran of law enforcement, is recognized for his mentorship and service. He's survived by his wife Kathy and their 4 daughters.